I started to tell a story. I'm going to say this real quick, and it can be the last thing.
Okay.
Britney Spears' second album came out. Me and the singer for the Deadlines, we were like on tour together, and the two bands were on tour together. And we pull up to Circuit City, and we get out, and because her album was coming out that day,
Mhm.
literally in the store, we bought it. We came out. That was her whatever the second album was, because we were both really into her first album. Her first album, every song on it's really good except for one song. And then we got it, we put it on. We were like, it wasn't as good, but it was fine. But anyway, it was just funny because we were all excited. We were very into that at that point. And then there was really no other point for that story other than Circuit City.
That is the worst story ever.
When did we bought this record?
We were talking about me having a shrine to Britney Spears and never having a shrine to Britney Spears. So we were.
Thanks for making the time to do this.
Hello, Mikey.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing good. Good to see you, man. You look good. You look like you're
Thanks, man.
living life and keeping in shape.
Well, I'm doing the first part.
What? Keeping in shape. His exercise is like whenever we have a Huntington show.
That's right.
4 or 5 times a year. No, just kidding.
Cool.
All right, let's start this so we can do all the,
No, we're recording right now. Thank you guys for doing this. We can talk as long as you want or as little as you want, and anything's on the board. And if you want anything edited out later on, just let me know and I'll take care of it.
I would just like to say, Alex Park, you look exactly the same.
Well, the glasses a little bit
different. Same haircut, same hairline. Your skin looks exactly the same. Amazing.
Well, good lighting helps, man. Good lighting helps.
And he sounds the same.
I don't get it. I feel the same, but in other parts of my body, like around the spare tire, I'm not looking the same.
Oh,
yeah. Cool.
I have my vampire lighting going just right.
That's cool. Looks good.
Yeah.
Part of the whole mood there. Well, guys, is there anything specific you want to talk about, or you just normally we get on here and just rehash the old days and whatever?
We have a lot of old days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, really quick.
Everybody involved has a lot of old days.
How did I originally meet you guys? Do you remember?
Scott Hatch had a radio show, and Mike and I had a little demo under our previous band name Cricket that he was being kind enough to play, and he sent you a list of who he was playing, and you were like, send me as much of this as you can. And so he did, and he sent you some tapes. He gave us an address, and we sent some tapes to you, and that was it. A couple months later, you called me, and I was like, oh, wow. And you were just saying how you were on the street corner waiting for a bus or something like that, and this song came into your head, and you were like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And then you realized what it was. It was one of our songs from that tape. And so then you called us, and we went from there.
I don't know if I was standing waiting for a bus, because I don't think I had a cell phone at the time.
I think you were on a street corner or something.
I remember a CD compilation you guys were on, and the Julies and Star 07. Was that did Scott Hatch put that CD out? Because I think that's where I heard one of your songs. Okay.
No, because when we went and recorded with Randy Rose. Terrible recording. Guitars were not in tuned or anything, but that was our first attempt at recording an album, I think, after we had already started talking to you. Maybe not. Mike, do you remember? Weren't we already talking? You and Mike?
No, we weren't in discuss. No, that hadn't happened yet.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But I mean, if this is going to be a conversation about what happened 25 years ago, oh my God, it's difficult for me to remember what happened 25 minutes ago. So it's not going to be a very productive conversation for my end anyway.
The song that was in your head was called Deep End.
That's right. I remember that song. Yeah. I did hear it on a demo.
Those are Mike's old drum machine demos we used to make. Right.
There is one thing that came up when I was on a podcast last year. Your music saved our lives, or something like that. Have you heard of that podcast? I don't know. Anyway, they were asking me about the record label and blah, blah, blah. And they told me something that I was not aware of. And I want to ask you guys about it. They said the Huntingtons got the same contract with Tooth&Nail that they signed with Flying Tart. And that it was one of the sweetest deals. Yes. And every Tooth&Nail band wanted that record contract, but nobody got it. Is that right?
I don't know about that part. All I know is that when I was talking to Brandon, he said, "What do you want?" And I was like, "We just want the same contract we had with Flying Tart." And he was like, "Okay, send it to me." So then we sent it to him, and he was like, "Yeah, okay, we'll do this." But it ended up, unbeknownst to us, it ended up being like 3 times better than anything he was offering to any labels like that, including that your deal with us made it so we only had to pay $3 per CD that we got from Tooth&Nail. Of course, it ended up that we never had to buy anything from Tooth&Nail because we did 2 EP deals with them outside of our normal deal. Whenever you do that, it's like its own standalone thing. One was the live album, and the other was the File Under Ramones album that we did. And the live album, so it ended up being that with those, we got to have 10% of whatever they pressed as our payment.
Okay.
So and they ended up doing it ended up. The live album was the best-selling album we had done with them, and then they ended up pressing a lot of the Tooth&Nail albums, and we ended up just getting an enormous amount of CDs. And it wasn't really we got to spread those out over any of our releases that we wanted to.
Oh wow!
So we ended up never having to buy merchandise. We just had this big. That's what made it all work for us. Made it possible for us to tour as much as we did. Is that CDs were important at the time, and we had lots of those without ever. So everything, we got to sell them for like $10. We didn't have to do like $15 or anything. We could sell them cheap.
There was like there's a second part to that. So the 10% pressing for free thing was a great deal, like Cliff said, because you never had to pay for your product. You just got to get it and sell it. You made full profit off of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the second thing was, aside from the first record we did for them, High School Rock, which we do with Matt Sorgini, we did all the other records on our own at our local studio.
Oh, okay.
And we made them for incredibly low cost, like super low cost. So after High School Rock, we sort of kind of in some way figured out how to do this and did it on our own. And from that point on, we're just able to bang records out for like an incredibly low cost. And so there was never some super high reimbursable thing we had to pay back because the records were so cheap. So, a combination of getting that deal where we got a certain percentage of the pressing in product for free, plus our, recoupment amount that we had to make for, actually recording the record. We got, so I don't want to say good at it, but we got good at keeping it cheap.
Right.
So, that helped a ton.
Well,
we learned a lot.
Yeah. Two of the things that I remember is you could get paid in product or get your royalties. Do you remember that in the Flying Tart contract? Because I told you guys you could.
But that was never something, we never wanted that. Okay. We never wanted any kind of, because the money for us was in the actual product that we could then have and turn into way more money.
Right.
By touring our butts off and everything. And also, look, I just want to say this too. We were the very first live album that Tooth&Nail ever released. Brandon was very vehemently against doing live albums. We really wanted to do a live album. The Ramones had done a million of them, and so we had to do one. And we did that album, and we did it without their knowledge. They paid us $400 to do a song for a Christmas comp they were doing.
Oh, wow.
And with that $400, we did that song and we did the entire live album.
Wow. I didn't know that. Wow. That's cool.
So that album ended up being their biggest selling album we ever did for them. So it just moved a lot of units.
Wow.
They sold them for cheap, $5.98 at the time or something like that. And
Mikey knew what he was talking about,
Yeah. And then the Ramones album, we did that. The File Under Ramones, we did that in 2 days, I think. What's it, 2 days of recording and then a day in mixing or something like that? And that cost $1,000 to do. And that still is to date one of my favorites.
Well, that's punk rock, of course.
It is. So,
Cool. Darren, what do you got?
Well, I want to go way back when I heard on, I guess, As the Story Grows podcast, you mentioned the fact that you made a demo tape and it sounded like MOD songs. Do you remember that? Like when you were a kid, way before.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, he's talking about Riff Raff, Mike.
Wow.
I want to know, can I get my hands on one of those?
No, and you wouldn't want it. Wasn't.
I don't.
No, it was on the MOD in my mind. It was not like that.
But you're same age as me. You guys, it's like Lance and I loved SOD, MOD. It was like our jam. I mean, we just loved. I mean, the riffs were awesome, you know. And so I would love to hear that sometime. But
I mean, but I didn't have that kind of talent, you know, at all.
Right.
I didn't have that kind of gear, and I didn't have any. And it was me and my a couple hometown friends.
How did you stumble over? How'd you find MOD? Was it just like?
Oh, back then, well, I lived in the country. So I was just really super. Mike and I were just super into music and everything like crazy. So, you know, when you're in the country, you're listening to Headbangers Ball or 120 Minutes. My brother was 120 Minutes. I was Headbangers Ball.
Oh god.
Surfing. The MOD. I think Surfing USA one might have been the first song I heard from them. But then I saw the Speak English or Die tape, and I got into them, and I just thought, like, I loved them because they, like, caught me. They had a lot more hooks than Anthrax did. You know, that hooks when you're, like, a young kid. You just hear it right away. And so I just really bonded with that really quickly. So, but it doesn't – the only thing is, though, is those are the kind of hooks that don't last, right? It doesn't grab you, and it doesn't it doesn't hold you and hold your interest for a long time, whereas the other bands – once you get into them, then it holds your interest for a lot longer.
Hence, it was rare that they had a song over 2 minutes.
2 minutes was a super long song by them. Their songs were like 5 seconds. That's probably where Vengeance Rising. That's where they're like, receive him. That's where that stuff.
That's cool. So, what do you guys remember about recording Brown Cow, the record that did not get released?
Yes, it did. We did it.
I mean, you guys released it, but I mean, at your request, Flying Tart never released it.
Well, Mike?
Oh, man. I guess my only real memory is just of what was it? It was someplace in Marietta, the Strand.
Yep.
Was that what it was? So I remember just staying there. Like, we slept there, and we spent, like, I don't know, a week or something maybe there, just sort of doing that. And I remember Chris Colbert would have probably taken a $100 bill to sort of just leave and go anywhere, be anywhere but there at the time. I felt like he was there just out of some sort of like, you guys, he had a bet with you and he lost it or something, and he had to come spend a week.
I didn't know it was that bad, but wow.
No, well, okay, so all right, maybe I should clarify a bit. He wasn't mean or rude or like
right.
You know.
Oh, he was totally mean and rude. What are you talking about?
He was rude to you, man. I remember that.
That's true. Yeah, Cliff always had sort of like, he always took the brunt of whoever we were working with, you know,
right?
The bad side or whatever. But as far as like, you could definitely tell this was not his thing. Like, he was not interested in this, and he did what he could do. We had some laughs. We had some good times too, but it wasn't his thing. You know, It was like if I was to go in and record, some electronic group or something, like I'd have no connection to it whatsoever. And it was kind of the same kind of vibe, but us being, fresh at all of this, it was exciting for us. And we were away from home for a while and doing something really cool. I think we all had a really good time. And I think at the time we were pretty excited and proud of what we did, but it didn't take long with some member changes and just couple shows and some just different experiences to say, wait a minute, that's not not us. We need to shift gears a little bit.
Right.
So it's cool. It was an interesting experience, but
Cliff was singing lead, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was before we split. So you have to remember, Alex, that when we did Brown Cow, we had not found the sound that we were.
That's
really
true.
looking for. We were taking songs that we had written and recorded that were all my songs, and this was, you got to remember the time period, right? So super early 90s, these songs were being written, Ned's Atomic Dustbin and whatever else that was happening at the time, and the Lemonheads and stuff like that. We're trying to, find our voice. And and by the time we did Brown Cow, we knew we wanted, we were really, we were listening to a lot of punk rock, and we were really liking the energy and everything. But we were trying to take our songs we had already written and turn them into that.
Ah, I didn't know that. Okay.
Right? So once Mike ended, like when we got back, our bass player quit. We decided to be a 3-piece. And Mike, just this one day, he came to band practice and he had this song, Rock and Roll Girl, that he had written. He showed it to us. And me and the drummer Mike, were freaking out. And we just loved it so much. We just played the song over and over and over again. And we were like, oh my gosh. And like immediately we dropped everything we had been working on for like 3 years, just threw it all away and said, we need to write at least 10 more of these. And we did, and that became the foundation for Sweet 16. And then that was really the beginning of the real true beginning of the band. And then everything else was learning and growing and perfecting that. So, and then the growth from Sweet 16 and then High School Rock and everything beyond that, it just went real super fast from there.
I recall the bass player you had on Brown Cow ate all your food. Is that right? While you guys were there? Yeah, the big guy.
Yeah.
I bought like groceries for you guys, and he ate everything apparently.
So, I don't have any memory of that.
I just remember that sticking out. Like I got there, and you guys were like, "We don't have any food."
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like we bought all these like little oven pizzas, and he ate them all. I'm pretty sure. Maybe right. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cliffy,
like working mode, we don't even think about food anyway. It doesn't even occur to us. We're just going and going and going. So it's like if I'm home mastering an album, I could go 12 hours and I'd realize that I didn't eat, and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it's just a part of when you're in the middle of your craft, you don't notice what's going on around you. So, yeah, look, I don't blame Chris Colbert for how he, the best song he did with us was our cover of Couple Skate, which turned out really good. And that was saying that. And he just had, Mike back then had this really cool, soft, shy kind of quality that translated really well into material like that, because Mike was very scared about becoming the singer. He was a kid, and it was really when he brought that song, Rock and Roll Girl, to the band, and then we were like, we got to keep writing this. But I had been the singer up to then. But we were just like, okay, he would sing whatever he wrote. I would sing what I wrote. But then it just got to the point where he was like, man, his songs are better. Let's just have him be the singer all the time. And then, his songwriting style in this just zoomed off, and I would write some riffs here and there, but he was the main guy with that, and kind of just shifted. And it was the best decision we ever made. The coolest thing that ever happened was him bringing that song to the band. It changed everything. So
that's cool. Darren, what were you about to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, Cliffy, I can relate to like when you craft this one song and everything else is like garbage. And that's what we did. Like when we wrote, there's a song on our demo, Progressive Change. And once we wrote that, we were like, okay, we got it now. All those other songs are just elementary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I can understand like you've been working on these songs for a couple of years, whatever. And then just like, nope, never going to do that again. We're going this direction, so I can really relate to that. Definitely.
Yeah. I adore the first Living Sacrifice album. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad that you did that album. I know it's just Slayer. I don't care. It's fantastic. I wish all of your
there's some
albums
Megadeth in there too, man.
I wish all the albums would have stayed that way. It was just like your voice was so good with it. The songs were so awesome. Yeah. Most people they love Reborn and everything, but man, I just love that first Sacrifice.
I'm humble, Cliffy.
What?
I said I'm humble, Cliffy. Thank you, man.
Well, I really, I'm telling you the truth. It's on my iPod. I did a personal remaster of the album that just is awesome.
Well, I mean, what bands were you into? Like as far as heavy bands back then, like just Vengeance and stuff like that too, or did you get into?
For me, music for me started with Amy Grant, Age to Age, when I was 14, and then within a few months had gotten to Petra, and then Rez, and then Stryper, and then once I got to Stryper, it was off and running. So after Stryper, started listening, getting Barren Cross, anything like that. It was so funny because the Christian music and Christian rock and stuff was never. Most people get into that because they're pushed on that by their parents. That was all 100% my choice. It was just like there was a safety and a home base there that just always felt really good to me. And from there, after with all the while I was listening to all that, I was really, really into like the 77s and the Altar Boys and Lifesavers and Underground. Undercover and even the Choir and all that kind of stuff. So there was like those two sides, like that were just went along throughout the 80s for me. I met Mike at summer camp. He was 12 and I was 17. He was just this little kid walking around with his headphones listening to like hardcore rap, and I just thought he was dumb, And
you were like, "Hey, let's start a band." Right?
No. It was years later. It was this girl that I had a big crush on that went to his church, and I was hanging out with her, and his dad saw me and remembered me from camp, and he was like, "Hey, do you remember Mike?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "He plays guitar now." And he was like, "You want to come over?" And I was like, "All right." So I went over to their house, and Mike had a 4-track tape machine, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So it's also Mike and I's working relationship started with me totally using him because he had a 4-track tape machine. There was nothing else to it than that. But really quick, I realized how kind-hearted he was, how interesting he was, nice, and genuine he was, and interested. He wasn't just like. So there's really something about someone when they're not just interesting, but they're also interested, right? So if someone who's interested, not just interesting, means that they have the capacity for other people. It's a totally different thing. I just found that very endearing, and we just started doing tape, these demos and everything. And then after the second or third one, I was like, because in these demos that we would do, they were like full-length albums, like 12 and 13 songs that were built up from him doing the drum machines, and then we would just build everything up. And it just went from there. And I just thought he was really just a good, nice, cool kid that I thought being in a band with would be really cool. And I said, "Do you want to be in a band?" And he was like, "Yeah, okay." We didn't really know what that meant or how to do that. Then I just started trying to find other people, and that was a process of years before you find anything that works. It just kept being me and him and growing from there. So
you should release some of those tapes.
We did. We released every one of them. Well, I mastered them all as best I could. And
did you really?
Every one of them is released digitally. You can download them or stream them. They're all called. What are they called, Mike? Foundations.
Oh, I'd rather not say, because then people.
Oh, come on.
Because
then on Bandcamp or something.
Is it the album from '95 to whatever? It's got the dates on it. Is that the album?
No, that's probably Tascam tapes. Or do we look like the Beatles?
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's really cool. Those were those original. So we released that too. Remember those demos we made, Alex, where you really, really loved them. And then we did the album and you were like, oh, I like the demos better. But they were the same songs. Do you remember that?
I think I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and we mastered those and released those too. And they have that real spirit of people that are just clearly just having fun.
Right.
You can hear it. It leaps off the recordings. You can hear that the band is just having fun. There's no nervousness. They're just like, But no, all those original demos, every single one of them was released as Huntington's Foundations Volume 1s through 6. Volume 6 was the Brown Cow.
Wow.
Volume 6 was the Brown Cow album. Every one is called Jim, one's called Home, one's called Beans. Then there's Joe Christmas Playing on the Stereo. That's a name of a demo that we did.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then there's one's just called Cricket, and it's just like a white cover with our little typed out logo. But every bit of that's up there. They're all on Spotify and everywhere and under Huntingtons. And when we first released those, I would randomly get people like from other countries writing me and say, hey, who is this band? They're like using your name. And I was like, no, it's real. It's really us. It's just the beginnings of me and Mike working together. It's not the band. It was from before we found our sound. But there's some cool songs on there.
Right.
It's stuff.
To that point about other songs and covers and all that kind of stuff, I remember you guys were doing like a Facebook Live or something in 2012, and you texted me randomly, like, what was the name of that band? Velocipede is what you were looking for. And I'm like, dude, I haven't talked to you in 10 years, and that's the first thing you text me and asked me. And but then I jumped on there at the end, and we started going way out there with like stuff we were talking about. But one thing you told me, and I don't think this is going to get anybody in trouble, but you put your stuff on iTunes, and they weren't asking you or clearing that like some of the cover songs that were on those records weren't your songs, and they were paying you for somebody else's songs. Do you remember that? iTunes.
No. So we have never done anything correctly. Like
right.
We've always just like, we don't care. We're just going to do it. Because look, we know the law is this, right? Do what you want to do. If you're found out, then you have to make restitution. That's really the reality. You want to cover the song, go cover the song. If somebody ever comes after you, well, then you'll have to go and, the record deals back then, they were always like, I don't know, 50 cents per CD. That's how it used to be. So it wouldn't have been a lot. But I don't even think Tooth&Nail even – they certainly didn't get the rights to use Michael J. Fox on our song, that clip that we used in one of our songs on High School Rock. They didn't do, I doubt that they even cleared any of the Ramones covers that we did on our
Really? Wow.
Maybe they did, but probably not. I think they probably had that same mindset as us. Just do it. And if you get away with it, cool. And if you don't, then we'll deal with it then.
It's the Clinton Foundation way of doing things, it sounds like.
I guess.
Oh, we forgot to pay taxes for the past 5 years.
Right.
Oh, we'll do that, sure.
Like, it seemed very punk rock.
Who's this Clinton guy you talk about?
He's a fictional character. He played the president on television.
I'm pretty sure, though, like, that's not true of like recent stuff though, right? So like we re-recorded that first terrible Ramones cover thing that we did,
you think did Scott pay for those?
Yeah, Scott did all the proper things to make sure that was
okay.
Yeah. So
no, I just remembered you had done like a Muffs cover and it was on iTunes.
Yeah. We never paid Jack for that.
And iTunes never did their due diligence to see if you had the copyright or not. They just gave you the royalties. I mean,
Tooth&Nail really. Oh yeah, that's right. So here's the trick, people. Okay, if you go, let's say you have your own.
Here's the way to do it. Here's the way to get away with it. People. Yeah.
If you have your own, if you have your digital distribution through TuneCore or DistroKid or whatever, they will ask you, "Did you write this song?" You just say yes, and then you just say yes, and then you can still put the real songwriters' names in there, but you just click yes, and they never comes back, and it just goes up there. You're not taking credit for it. You did it. You recorded it. It rocks, or it doesn't. Whatever. I mean, we even did those stupid Molly Crew and Twisted Sister covers. We never did Jack. We never paid for anything. We just did it.
Okay, I'm frantically looking for the "How do I get out of this call" button. Where is it? Oh my goodness.
We're all friends here. We're all friends. They know we don't mean it. We get on the line, we put on a show.
Thing, if Disney didn't come after Tooth and Nail and us for using Michael J. Fox clip that was clearly way more than 3 seconds.
Wait. No, it wasn't. Look, when we did that, Mass told us what the rule was. Like, there was a certain amount of time, and it got chopped up to where it wasn't a continuous clip. Like, we didn't use like a continuous 20 seconds of clip. He chopped it up and made it like sections that fell within the whatever the parameters were at the time. And we were just going
3 second or 5 second rule.
Exactly, whatever that rule was. And so it wasn't a full clip. He took and pieced things together and, did what he did. It was like, all right, cool. If that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. And so we went with that. It wasn't like an intentional, there wasn't anything intentional there. And so did they have to go through some sort of a process to clear it? Probably not. But I mean, I do think there is some sort of a, I don't know, what do they call that? There's like a certain amount of not free use or fair use.
There's fair use if you're using it for educational purposes.
Well, it was very educational. High school rock.
And recording without ever asking.
Right.
But the thing that cracks me up
under the umbrella
and ask for our permission to cover our song. Happens to me all the time. And I'm like,
really? Wow.
My permission? You just do it. And you don't have to tell us because we're not going to care anyway. But if you do it, cool. Hope it turns out great. And if it sucks, oh well.
That's the right attitude to have, man. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I don't care.
Live and learn.
Right. So.
Very cool. Yeah. What about the covers that I asked you to do? I asked you guys to do some random stuff.
The only song we have never released was that stupid cover you made us do of who was it?
I made you do.
Yes, you did. We did it at the same time.
We did gun to the head.
I know.
Was it the Bay City Roller song?
It was when we did what?
Was it the Bay City Roller song?
Yeah, that was it. And we didn't even. I mean, it was just like. I mean, it's a cool song, but not by us. It was terrible. But we lost. We don't even know where it ended up. We never had a.
What was that?
Saturday night.
No, it was Rock and Roll Love Letter. I asked you guys to do it because at the time I was going to do EPs of different bands. Like I was going to do a Sesame Street one. I was going to do Bay City Rollers. I thought you guys would like the Bay City Rollers because the Ramones love the Bay City Rollers.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah.
But they were choosy on which songs they chose. Yeah, we did it at the same time that we did the Rocket to Ramonia.
Well, see, Cliffy, what he sent me.
We did Motley Crue and we did Twisted Sister all at the same time.
Alex wanted Living Sacrifice to do something, and the Sesame Street song was C for Cookie. He sent me that. He's like, "Where's your song?"
Did I? No. Is
this what we get for doing is this because you were on your second album, right? And you were doing those kind of vocals, and he was like, "Well, do this. It'll be perfect."
I guess. I don't know. I think we were on Habit at the time, actually.
Oh, okay.
I had a lot of crazy ideas,
In Habit, that's the second album, or is that the third one?
That's the third one.
What's the second album called?
Non-Existent.
Is that the one
That's
where
the one that pissed everyone off?
Because your vocals were real low in the mix, and you were like this. Yeah.
That was
That was during a transitory time at REX.
Yeah. I was pissed off. That's why I did that. Actually,
I remember you interviewed at the time.
Well, my plan was they'll let me re-record my vocals if I just make them just insane, and it backfired on me.
They were trying to do it on the cheap because Tyler was in charge.
But I do like Obituary, I mean, that's what I was kind of going for, but whatever.
Well, I remember your interviews at the time. One of the things, the big quote was, "It's all right if you can't tell what I'm saying. The lyrics are in there."
We'll draw them in that way.
Right. Like the Dave Mustaine. We mix the vocals low on purpose. So you have to pay attention.
Tell them about the thing Doug Mann did when he went to Forefront about Non-Existent.
Oh, Doug went to Non-Existent, or he was in a meeting, and the head guy through a business, one of those CCM kind of inside magazines, and it had a picture of non-existent album cover on it. And he said, "See, this is what's wrong with Christian music today. They're putting stuff out like this. We're never going to do that." And Doug's in this meeting, just kind of keeps quiet or whatever for a second. And then he says, "You know that I produced that record, right?" And he's like, "What?" He had no idea. This, guy has his head up his ass probably. But the next day, Doug comes into the office and he's wearing a non-existent long sleeve that I had sent him into work. And somebody stops him and is like, "We got another meeting today." And he goes, "Yeah, I know. Do you want to change?" "No, this is what I'm wearing." Goes into the meeting. So, I mean, that's the kind of guy Doug is, just kind of like,
you know
what these guys are doing.
You know who we're talking about, right? Doug Mann, the guy who started REX.
Yes.
And then he went to work for Forefront doing DC Talk Records.
Well,
not promoting DC Talk Records.
I remember being sad when all the stuff ended and fell apart, and now I'm really glad that it was all torn down. For real, I really am, because to turn Christianity into a business really sucks, and it was very wrong to do. And a lot of people joined in on that, and they did that, and it was. I remember sitting at it was my last Cornerstone. It was 2005. No. 2005 was last Huntington's Cornerstone. So it was 2008. I went back with them when I was doing Mainline Riders. 2008, I think so. It might have been 2010. I don't know, whatever. But I remember I was sitting there, and I was just sitting there in the food court. And by this point,
Cornerstone had a food court? That's crazy.
Yeah,
okay.
A food area.
Oh, okay.
Right? By this time, Cornerstone had gotten small enough to where the main stage was now right there in the same area as the food area, right? It used to be this big field that you had to really walk down and go through all this stuff, right? So now
down by the lake.
Yep. But now none of that was there anymore. Now the main stage was up there by, what you've been there before. So, remember where the vendors were that would sell food?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And where the main tents were that you would have merchandise. Well, the main stage was now in that area. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just, whatever. And there's this big giant video screen on, and they're playing the newest video by whatever Christian rock band, right? And I have no idea who the band was, but it's kind of like that Ken Tamplin thing, where they give me a reason now, and he's like dancing around like Mick Jagger or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. It's all great, right? So this video was all like, the lyrics were all right on, right? The lyrics were all like, "Give glory, blah blah blah," all that whatever. But then you look at the actual performers in the video, and there's nothing about them at all that was about what they were singing. The video was, "Look at me, I'm so cool, I'm so awesome." And right there, I literally started crying, and I just felt gross inside. And it was just like, it's just so wrong. You're under the guise of preaching, under the guise of this, but the reality is you're totally there for yourself, and you're selling yourself. It has nothing to do with any of this other stuff. And it was really my Jesus in the overturning the temple's court like that. I mean, I didn't do any of that stuff, but it was like, it really became clear to me why he did that. And that the industry had been there for a very long time. Obviously, I just didn't think about it. But now when I look back, I just think in a lot of ways, like, Christian rock and stuff is just flat out wrong. It's like sinful. Like, it might be weird to say, but it's because it always becomes that, right? It's aggrandizement of yourself under the guise of giving glory to Jesus Christ when you're not giving glory to him at all. So I don't mean into this big.
Dude, I got news for you. It was that way before I signed you guys.
Yes, I understand. Like with Carmen prancing around in his blue suit at GMA. I know.
Yeah. But my last Cornerstone was cool, 97.
That was what's cool about labels like Blonde Vinyl is they were clearly there. It was And that's one thing I really liked about the Huntingtons too, is that we always set out from the very beginning, we're not going to have a message. That's not this. We understand that this band is kids who just want to be in a band and we want to have fun and it's about us. We're not going to try to, Brandon Ebel used to come up to us and say, "Will you just write a song about God? We can sell more records if you do." We were like, "No, we're not going to do
that." You're proving your own point there, man.
Right. Well, I know, but Blonde Vinyl never did that stuff. They were literally there. It was about the bands, and that's really what it was about. When it's just a business and everything, and I like that Huntingtons, we were good kids and we didn't swear in our songs, but we were like no different from the Queers and Screeching Weasel and Green Day and all that kind of stuff. We were just kids who were raised in church, and so we just didn't think to do that kind of stuff in our songs. But we were there for us. The band was about us and wanting to be able to feel a certain way on stage and connect with people like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but advertise it as that. Don't sit there and pretend it's something else so that all these people will buy your stuff.
Do you guys know if you had more sales in the Christian market or secular market? Or do they even talk to you in those terms?
No. Back then it was similar. It was just like, was it the 70% rule, right? Back then it was like however many shows up on SoundScan, that was usually about 70% of your real sales.
SoundScan was hard sales.
Right.
It was 100%. Oh, but I see what you're saying. 70% of what you shipped. Right.
So yeah, there was like this formula back. You and I used to talk about this all the time.
Right. No, I remember that stuff.
It really took touring our butts off that got us beyond that whole built-in audience thing.
Right.
Until then, we sold the same as every other unknown Christian band, 5,000 or whatever per unit, just like everybody else was back then. Mm-hmm. And since the Blonde Vinyl days, even all those artists did the same thing. It was always selling to the same people.
Yeah.
And when we started touring like crazy, and then we started just over the years, we've just kept being the same band we always were. And back then, though, we dealt with a lot of backlash of where like. Christian scene didn't like us because we didn't talk about God, and then the secular scene didn't like us because we were on Tooth and Nail. We were just dumb Christian boys, whatever. So it was a lot of only the truly open-minded kids who just realized we wrote really good songs in the style that we did and that they liked. They liked us, and it just over the years of just continuing to do it.
Well, the proof is in the live show. You guys were able to bring it, Yep. You didn't flinch, Yep. Y'all brought it. So
all these bands kept going to the wayside, and we just kept going. I'm not talking about Christian bands, just bands,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Over the years, and we just keep going because we understand, one, the record companies aren't going to make us famous. Two, we're not going to make money from this. We do this because we have to. We do this because we love it. We do this because it's fun. It's our version of poker night, So,
speaking of bands,
musicians, they've got poker night. They get together. They have fun with the boys, right? This is fun with the boys for us.
Darren had sent me this photo and wanted to know. I'm trying to bring it up here.
Oh, the Tom Fest.
Yeah. Do you recognize? Let's see, where is it?
Fatal Blast Whip.
I recognize every single one of those bands. I recognize every single one of those bands. What is this? This is 1997.
Showing the whole photo. You have the whole flyer.
Oh yeah, hang on, I'll get it here.
The Tom Fest. But yeah, I've never heard them.
When we played Tom Fest, we fell in love with it. It was like Cornerstone, but you could become friends with everybody. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Tom Fest in Colorado. We played that one time too. Yeah.
I didn't know Tom Fest did anything outside of, what was it, Whitefish or whatever it was.
They did LA once too, a couple times in LA too. It wasn't. Yeah,
the Pacific Northwest. Texas. I think they did a Texas one year as well.
I think it's on that flyer actually.
Here, I'll bring it back up.
But
that band, Dallas.
Yeah, there you go.
Dallas. Yeah. And didn't we play every one of those, Mike, that year?
No, I think we skipped one. I think we did two. I don't think we did all three.
I know the Denver one at one point because we were playing. I remember we were playing. What's that song?
Oh, that one. Yeah, that one.
That one. That's funny.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Penny. Yeah, Losing Penny. We were playing Losing Penny, and my guitar super went out of tune.
Don't you remember that song?
I broke a string, and I remember I was all bummed out. So, that's right. The Texas one is the one that Mike Pierce he flew into. We picked him up at the airport. Yeah, that's the one where my guitar went out like crazy when we played, and it was like we were all embarrassed. Yeah, that was that one, and he was all bummed out. I was like, I flew in for this.
How is he doing, by the way?
Good. He's old like we are, man. Yeah. But we have rock and roll that kind of keeps us young, and he hasn't been doing that for a long time. So.
Oh, really?
He's a factor guy. Yeah, we love him though. It's all good, man. Yeah. He doesn't look like Michael J. Fox anymore. There's another reference of Michael J. Fox.
Well, speaking of old photos, what about when you guys made the cover of Heaven's Metal or HM?
Let's see here.
In front of CBGB's. That was pretty cool. You know?
Is it this one? No, it's not this one.
No, that's bad.
Alex.
Here we go.
Yep. That's it.
Nice.
That was cool. Look how young we are. Wow. That was real cool. But that was the same year. That was the same year that we were reviewed in Rolling Stone on that Jennifer Aniston cover.
Yes. Yes. I was going to ask you
about our live album. It was the same year.
How was that? Was that just out of the blue? Like you guys were like,
we had no idea it was coming. Our minds were blown. They reviewed us and the helicopters together in this little section.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very cool. And for it to be Jennifer Aniston, that awesome cover that oh gosh, that was that was awesome.
Didn't you career highlights?
Yes. Didn't you used to have a shrine to Britney Spears at one point, Cliff?
So me and the singer for the Deadlines really got into her on her first album. Then when her second album came out, we literally that was back when Circuit City sold records, just like they sold CDs.
What's Circuit City? I've never. What is that?
Circuit City and Best Buy, they were competitors for a while, and they sold CDs. You know, CDs. Getting your record in Best Buy was a big deal, right? And
kids watching, we used to have to go buy records at stores. We didn't have the info web, so just to clarify.
Oh yes, to people, to all the ginormous amounts of people interested enough to be watching this. Yes.
Right.
Yes, we did.
Hey, we pull some decent viewers, you know. Anyway.
Well, you know, I mean, good grief! When we were all growing up, you found new albums by looking at the special thanks list. Somebody, a band that you did like, you would look at their special thanks list and say, "Oh, let me check this band out." Or you'd go in a record store and you'd turn an album over and you'd see what the band looked like on the back cover and see if they looked cool enough for you to buy their album.
I spent hours in Tower Records in Nashville. Hours.
You remember before there wasn't even listening stations.
No, you're right.
When listening stations, that was a big deal.
You have to go, this looks cool. I hope it's good, because they won't let you return it if it's been open.
Yep.
But
no, that was that was those are I think maybe it's just because it's my youth, but I think it had to be a better system back then, because nobody has any value for music at all now. So
Mikey's like, "Oh, you old guys talking about stuff. I'm way younger."
No, I was in that mix too. And I actually just had this conversation with a guy at work the other day. Like, I feel like so much consumption of music now is just in like one song. You know, you can go online or you can go to one of the Apple Music or Spotify or one of those things, and a lot of people will just grab one song as opposed to like grabbing the whole record and listening to it from beginning to end and like experiencing the whole thing. It's more of consuming it one song at a time and not even caring like who the band is anymore. like so many bands, it seems like to me, so many bands have like these interchangeable members and no one really notices, like I
K-pop.
was, yeah, it's just, the band may have started in 2005 and they had these 4 or 5 people in it. And in 2024, maybe one or two still exist, but nobody really pays attention to that sort of thing because they're not buying the physical product. They're not looking through the inserts at the pictures of the band and kind of relating to who these people are. It's just, I know the songs, or I know a song or a couple of songs. And that's the only way you relate to the name of the band or the band itself. And it's just a completely different attitude to how people consume things now.
Well, we live in a soundbite culture now.
Yeah.
People only read the headlines, not the article.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's definitely different. And I'm trying not to be, the whole, old man kind of thing. And why aren't people just doing it the way that I did it when I was a kid? It's probably not going to revert back to that, at least, anytime soon. So you deal with it, you figure out how to navigate it, and keep pushing forward. But yeah, no, I appreciate the old time stuff. I remember when we would have practice in our Flying Tart days, when we would practice, we would spend 3 hours in a record store and 45 minutes practicing.
That's the way it should be done.
Yeah, and so we'd get together. We'd bang out a couple of songs. All right, let's go to the record stores, and we'd do that for the rest of the day. And that was our practice day. So yeah, I
go to
totally
Burger King and eat strawberry cream pie.
That's right. That's right.
You go to Burger King for that? Yikes!
Wow. That was before Edwards pies were available in grocery stores. So the only way you could
get Burger King
strawberry cream pie, and then later on, then it was the Hershey Sundae pie.
I don't remember anything about 25 years ago except for pie.
That's right. Wait a minute. That sounds wrong.
Cool. Well, what are you guys doing these days? Are you still playing? You got records coming out?
Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely still play. I mean, last year was probably one of our busiest years in like the last 10 years. I mean, we traveled a ton. Made our way out to the Midwest probably 2 or 3 times, honestly, and did a ton of shows. We are getting ready to start rehearsing some new stuff in the coming weeks, and we've got some other things in the works that I don't know, probably not ready to fully disclose yet. But yeah, no, keeping busy in the music stuff for sure. Probably more so than we thought we would at this point.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we put out an album in 2019 called Muerto Carcella Rock and Roll, which just means dead jailer rock and roll. And
great album.
Thank you, but we hated the way it was. We hated the final sound, or it wasn't everything we wanted. So last year, I got a lot of money from my tax return, and I put half of it into paying for this big time remix of the entire album.
Wow.
Because it was kind of like a legacy move where I just want our records to sound really good, right? And I knew how good this record was. And so it's coming out again with 3 labels all joining together: Burnt Toast, Mom's Basement, and Striped Records over in Europe. It's coming out. It'll be in sometime this year it's coming out, but it'll be vinyl, even CD, and of course digitally and all that. And it just sounds wonderful. The guy who mixed it, we did a split with this band called the Travoltas that we really love. And we went and we recorded 4 songs. They recorded 4 songs. And their singer, who's this really talented and well-known in Europe mixing engineer, mixed the whole thing. And we were like, this is everything about what we always wanted our band to sound like. It blew us away. So I hired him to remix the entire album. It cost a lot of money. Sounds really, really, really good. It's much like everything we had in our head when we recorded it. Look, the original recording sounds fine, but it's a little rough around the edges, right? Now it's like major label ready. It just sounds beautiful. Super, super good.
Sounds like a nice tax return.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I like spending my money on my art, amps, and guitars. So it's all works out okay.
I understand your position, sir.
Yeah, when you're younger, you don't have any money, but you have all this hunger. Then when you're older, you don't have as much hunger, but you got money to be able to use it on all the things you wanted when you were younger. So you do. So it's kind of funny.
Cool. Darren, you got anything else?
Man, I just enjoyed talking with you guys, and I'm looking forward to more music in the future. You guys sound like y'all are, out there live and stuff. So,
Darren, do you do music nowadays? You still have long hair.
Yeah.
Got to be some reason for it.
Yes, I still play live with the guys. It's been like 12 years since they recorded an album. We're trying to get something out, and I'll be on the
Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea. That's awesome.
I've been playing with them live since like 2010.
And you're singing with them?
He's doing those non-existent style vocals.
No.
Yeah.
Right. So you're actually the singer too, right? Again?
Well, I mean, Bruce sings his songs, I sing my songs. It's kind of like that,
Are you playing bass?
No, Arthur's playing bass. I just sing or yell, whatever.
So you yell on some of the songs and then you leave stage for...
Well, no, we do like from the first three albums, I'll do songs. That would be a good
I can't
idea.
imagine why people are irritated with you the most.
That's so cool. I had no idea that you were back in Living Sacrifice, dude. That rules.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So what do you do when you're not singing? What do you do when you're not singing and you're on stage with the band? Like, what do you physically do?
Make sure the sound. I go by the soundboard. I guess I don't know. I don't carry amps or anything. Is that what you're asking? I don't know.
No. So like when you guys are performing,
I just come out and do like a couple of songs, like 3 or 4 songs, and then I'm done. I just walk off.
Then he hits the bar. Come on.
Yeah. I go get it.
So you're not. So
all right, Bruce, you got it from here later. But yeah, I just do like 2 or 3 songs live, and that's it. But yeah, we played down in Texas not too long ago. We just played here in Little Rock about a month ago. But yeah, I've been doing stuff with them for a while now. But they don't get out much. So
I remember playing a show with them in Little Rock when we were on tour. They had a bass player at the time. Maybe, but they had a bass player at the time. I mean, that was back short hair and all that kind of stuff. They kind of
Chris Truby. It was Jason Truby's brother.
Yeah, he was real cool. Like he was just really the way he attacked the bass was really cool, and the drummer had these triggers.
He just played with us last month here in Little Rock. Yeah,
very cool.
It's the first time we had him live with us in a long time, and he brought it. It was awesome.
Very, very cool.
Chris brings it, definitely.
Awesome. Very cool. Do you do any other bands besides when you get together with the Living Sacrifice guys?
As far as like songs, or what do you?
Yeah. Like, do you have a band outside of Living Sacrifice, or do you just?
No. It's just us. That's the only one that I need.
right on, man. That's cool. Awesome.
No, but yeah, we rehearse. I've got like a big rehearsal spot for us, and we just go down there and rehearse. Like Rocky and Lance and I will rehearse sometimes, just us, because Bruce lives in Nashville and Arthur lives in Fort Smith now. So, whenever they can come.
Doing a full new album with you handling lead vocals on the whole thing or anything like that?
That'd be cool. But I think I'd just share the vocals,
Yeah.
Unless Bruce is tired of doing it.
Right.
I'll write some lyrics for him. He likes that. So I'll just write some lyrics.
He's not doing the t-shirt company anymore, right?
No, Zambui or whatever.
Yeah.
No, he works for another merchandise company called Manhead Merchandise. They're like big time. You name somebody, they do it.
Right on.
This
is awesome. And Alex, what are you
Dolly
doing now?
Parton, to, you know.
Really? They do Dolly Parton?
Yes, he does. He handles all their merchandise, and Megadeth. I just like all these bands, major bands. Yeah,
that's super cool.
They're rolling.
Alex, what are you doing with yourself these days?
I live in Tulsa. I was in Los Angeles for a couple of years, but I took a job at a film company here in Tulsa and editing. They have podcast stuff. I do all the podcast work, producing, that kind of stuff. But then we do, since I've worked for them, we've only done documentaries. And the one we start on in a couple of days, it's going to be the biggest one we've done yet. It'll be released to theaters by the end of the year. I don't know what the name of it is yet, but it's a lot of interviews and reenactments, but they're kind of interwoven. Like the interviewee will start to walk, and then an actor will take over, and so it's not corny reenactments. It's very motion picture-esque. And so I'm one of the editors, but for the actual production, I'm there for doing something called DIT, which means it's a boring job, but very important. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, that actually sounds super cool, man.
Well, it's what I do right now. I'm open to other things, but
did you get married or anything?
No, I got engaged a couple of years ago, but that would have been a massive mistake. So you've been married a couple of times, right?
Yes, I am I've been married twice. The first one ended. It was not my fault, but I have two wonderful, amazing boys from it, and
cool.
My wife now, her name's Lena. She's a associate, or she's actually the dean of the School of Communications in DC at American University.
Wow,
she's just super beautiful and fantastic and totally cool and super into music and the arts and everything. And she's near my age, which is good, very effective, and she's absolutely fantastic. So.
Do you live in DC?
I split my time. I go back and forth. So I have a house down near where my boys live because I have 50-50 custody, and I'm very dedicated to raising them and not having my ex-wife's boyfriend do that. And so
good move.
And then when I don't have them, I come up here, and then when it's my turn to have them, I go back down there.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yes. But no, life is good, and Mike's life is awesome. He can tell you all about it, but he has a storybook.
Yeah, Mike. What's going on with you?
Oh, well, I work for the Department of Defense.
No, you don't. Really?
Us too.
I do. Yeah.
You live in DC also?
No, I live just north of Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
But I work at a defense facility a little north of here. I've been doing that for quite a while, actually. Even back in, let's see, I was doing this, well, not this exact job, but still working in that general capacity since the time we put the first Flying Tart record out. So I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah. I mean, last handful of years or whatever, become a little. My job has changed in that time, but general capacity the same. 3 kids.
And now his
high school
his job now is babysitting millennials. He loves it.
Yeah, I do have a bit. Well, I wouldn't quite. Yeah, well, I don't know. That's one way of putting it. I'm a supervisor, so I do a lot of quote unquote babysitting. But in any case, that's what I do. My wife's a school counselor at an elementary school. Our 3 kids are growing up really super quick. The youngest is a freshman in high school, so
wow,
they're all extremely independent at this point. No little ones running
kids
around.
Are super beautiful and totally cool too, man. They're awesome. They're super awesome kids, man.
You tell the millennials, hey, I'm in a band too. You want to listen?
It won't matter at all to them.
Yeah, no, I don't tell anybody that. And it's honestly kind of weird. At work, I kind of keep that pretty low key.
Wow.
And the only time it ever really comes up is if a boss is trying to, make it seem cool that they've got a guy in a band working for them or something. They'll maybe they tell a general that, or some sort of a Washington VIP person or something. But other than that, it doesn't come up very often. So keep those
cool.
lives keep them separate.
There
cool.
You go.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks so much for making the time. Maybe we can get you on here with Chris Colbert sometime.
Dude, that would be great. What does he look like now? There's no pictures of him on his pages. It's always like his hands, or like it's usually like reels of tape or something. Like,
he did. As far as I know, he looks the same. I mean, he's grayer. I think. I haven't talked to him in years, man.
Does he still have like hair and stuff?
Yeah, as far as I know, he was in a documentary about luxury about 10 years ago. That's the last time I saw him like talking and answering questions and stuff. You could probably find that somewhere online. I don't know the name of it, but he did a podcast with Ricky Michelle recently, I think too. But I think I saw that in passing on Facebook. But I haven't talked to Chris in a long time. That would be kind of cool. Hey, what have you guys been up to? Don't know what you might say. We're going to have to censor that one. We're live taking questions from Chris Colbert and the Huntingtons. That would be scary, but fun.
Yes.
I did do a show with Tess. Did you see that at all, Cliff?
No, dude, I didn't. I am so like, well, so there's this thing that Mike and I found out that by the time you're 35, what's the rule, Mike? By the time you're 35, you no longer pay attention to what's happening in music, modern music or something. Is that right? What it is?
Oh, I don't know the exact age, but yeah, there's definitely a cutoff where your interest in anything that happened past a certain year declines significantly. Yeah.
I would imagine that it has something to do with having children. I'm going to guess. Probably. Because I still keep up with some things. I can.
But you got music really sucks now, man.
No, music does really suck right now. Don't get me wrong. Let's not kid ourselves. I was
not joking around here.
I had to go pick up a cameraman today right before we got on, and he's about our age, and we were talking about the music business because he lives in Nashville, and he does a lot of music videos right now in Nashville, and talking about how horrible it is to work with these people because, everyone associated with the singer or with the band wants their cut or their version of whatever he's working on. So he has to do a cut for the producer. He has to do a cut for the record guy. He has to do a cut for the A&R guy. And he's like, it's such a pain in the ass to deal with those people.
Which version is the one that goes out on the video? They're all terrible and always look.
They're all bad. They're all. He doesn't like doing that stuff at all. That's why if he can do a movie like what we're doing right now, he jumps at the chance. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing great out there. I think he and I were talking when I picked him up from the airport, right after the ADAT phase, when everything went where you could make it on a computer at home. That's the day real music died. I mean, because if I won't mention any artists, but if you can fake sounds and instruments.
Correct everybody's voice with the computer all the time. They even use like that stupid vocal fixing. What's it called?
There's a harmonizer. Is that what you're talking about? There's AI. There's AI stuff you can do now.
Software on major artists who actually sing really good. Can you imagine like Whitney Houston or somebody like they did when you're a really good singer, you don't need that kind of stuff.
Right.
You're taking the human.
You're talking about like the auto tune.
Yeah.
Is it the auto tune?
Yeah. The pitch correction, the auto tune. Yeah, it just. And I'm not talking about the little bubbles like, do you believe in life after love? No, I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about like where they literally like every single note they look.
That's your jam, isn't it? Though, come on,
get it all exactly, and it takes the human element out of it. It just doesn't sound human anymore. It sucks.
I don't want to get talking too long about this, but with AI, they're doing things that are like people who can't sing are making records that sound good. I mean, their vocals sound good. I mean, they did They did a brand new Beatles song from demos. Have you guys heard that?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what they can do with non-existent. Put it through the test.
Yes, we should try that just for fun.
Get the little get the share bubbles happening with your vocals.
I wouldn't want to imagine that, but
do you believe in love after love after love? Yeah. I started to tell a story. I'm going to say this real quick, and it can be the last thing.
Okay.
Britney Spears' second album came out. Me and the singer for the Deadlines, we were like on tour together, and the two bands were on tour together. And we pull up to Circuit City, and we get out, and because her album was coming out that day, literally, and in the store, we bought it. We came out. That was her whatever the second album was, because we were both really into her first album. Her first album, every song on it's really good except for one song, and then we got it, we put it on. We were like, it wasn't as good, but it was fine. But anyway, it was just funny because we were all excited. We were very into that at that point. And then there was really no other point for that story other than Circuit City.
That is the worst story ever.
When did we bought this record?
We were talking about me having a shrine to Britney Spears. I never had a shrine to Britney Spears. So we were on tour with Darlington. The singer at the time. It got me really into like Britney Spears. I used to wear a Britney Spears watch, and I had like this big giant. It was like huge, big giant pin of Britney Spears. It was like this big, and I would put it up on top of my amp every time we would play. Just goofy stuff.
Mikey
like that.
earlier was wanting to cut the phone call off. Now he's like,
I'm like,
God.
I thought that story about you guys running into Circuit City was going to end with like the cops showing up and like arresting you or something. Like it
was just oops, I did it again.
You didn't. There was no punchline. There was no
just oops, I did it again, and we were excited about it. That's right. That was it.
Never tell that story again. That is a terrible story.
When you're in your mid-50s, you don't tell stories very well anymore.
You kind of trail off into a different thought.
You don't remember any details at all.
That's kind of why we never finish it, because you're thinking like, oh, this thing happened too. Where's my shoes?
Yes.
Do you remember like so my last year really in the music business was like 97, 98. I was out by 98 out of Nashville.
Left out and all that stuff was happening.
And there was a Britney Spears book that was going to come out on Thomas Nelson. It was Britney Spears' mom, How to Raise a Christian Daughter in a Pop Culture. And then she went off the deep end, and there was this big scandal in Thomas Nelson. Like, they never released that book. And I was just like, that's kind of funny. I thought it was funny at the time.
Well, I remember Britney Spears had the special, and she stalled. And it was really cool for a while in pop music to say that you were a virgin and that you were going to be a virgin until you got married. That was very popular for a while in pop music with them artists. None of it was all just fake. It was all just stuff that they were saying to be able to appeal and sell more records to little kids. Kind of similar to what we did, like what was going on in Christian music, actually.
And then you get Jennifer Knapp. All right. On that note, thanks again, guys. We'll do this again.
Now I got to go take a nap. All right, guys. Thank you.
Take care.
Hey, it's nice meeting you guys.
Bye.
Thanks,
Take care.
See you guys.